What can you do to improve your Wi-Fi? That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Linksys is Managing Director of Consumer Strategy, Aly Reyes. Hi, Aly.
Hi, Fred.
Well, Linksys is one of the best known brands when it comes to networking hardware, I think, dating back to 1988. Really a great history, Aly.
Yeah, it really is. Linksys has had a varied history, but always been very focused on delivering the most reliable and innovative wireless technologies to either your home or your business.
So many households today rely on the internet for work, for play, sometimes education still, I think, entertainment, security, and everything connected, it seems, light bulbs, dishwashers, you name it. And that can lead, I think, to overload sometimes, but there are solutions. So give us a little bit of an overview of the issues people are facing today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I think, the average household was inching into this challenge of just having more and more devices. Then, of course, the pandemic really accelerated that, right? We felt the pain of, having to hide in the corner office, trying to get the Wi-Fi for a Zoom call. And now, that really forced us to think about, hey, Wi-Fi is absolutely crucial to what we're doing every day. And it's continued, right, as we find the new normal of, we have our devices, we're, in different areas of our home. But then the other thing that a lot of consumers don't think about initially is I actually want Wi-Fi to the edge of my property, right? We have projectors that we're doing movie nights. We have security cameras on the edge of our property that we need to get that Wi-Fi connection to as well. And so many consumers are, adding more and more devices. Their lives are more interconnected with the different devices that they're using. And so for many of those users, they're, frustrated and they're thinking about how do I fix this? And traditionally in the past, many consumers would think, I need a range extender, right? It's a very intuitive term. I want to extend the range of my Wi-Fi. And, in the past several years, the industry has really been innovative. And now we have what we call mesh Wi-Fi, which is, frankly, when I think about it as a consumer, mesh Wi-Fi is essentially how I always thought Wi-Fi should work, but it was very complicated. You'd have different bands, you'd have to put different devices on a specific band, you'd have to configure the network the way that you wanted it to. But now we have mesh Wi-Fi, which really takes a lot of that setup and configuration, and it puts it back onto the manufacturer like ourselves, Linksys, and we do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. And so now you just set up one network name, one password, and then you connect your devices. And then in the background, it's our technology that then is deciding, oh, you should put your, this device on this band based on what you're doing. And then you should put this device because it's a little bit further off your network. We're the ones now steering that for you. And you just simply connect and use the Wi-Fi. And so there's been these advances in the technology that we have, one of those being mesh Wi-Fi and really giving that seamless connectivity across your entire property.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, run into that issue if they buy some kind of device that says it only works on a 2.4 band or things. And there are quite a few, I think, that say that. And people say, well, okay, what do I do now? And right. they have troubles sometimes getting connected.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's really where, Linksys in particular, we've put in a lot of effort to make sure that we're handling that for you. If the device can connect to 2.4 only, we'll connect you to that 2.4. You just simply connect it to the Wi-Fi, put in the name, the password, and we'll do that work for you.
What should be considered when people are choosing between a router, and you've got some of the blue and black classic ones that I can recall from some years ago, and a mesh router? What should people be thinking about in making that choice?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of things. I think more from a technical perspective, think about what you're doing on that Wi-Fi. So if you're sending emails and, maybe scrolling through a social media site and you live and really think about the size of the space that you live in, you can really think about if you're in a 1-bedroom apartment or if you're in a larger 2,500 square foot single home, then you may think about what you need there. So we typically recommend a router if you're living in kind of that 1-bedroom apartment or something a little bit economical, maybe an urban environment. And then we recommend mesh if you're really thinking about getting it to your property, maybe to your backyard, your front yard, and you're needing to add a couple more what we call nodes to the system. And then that'll create this seamless experience for you across. But what we end up finding actually is that consumers tend to buy what they like to look at. So what's been nice about mesh Wi-Fi is it's not always just your traditional form factor with, maybe kind of spider looking router where it has multiple antennas and it's black and everything. And these mesh, routers or these mesh systems that we have, typically have a little bit more of a sleeker design, and that might fit better into your home. And then others prefer the antennas. They want to move the antennas to where, they want to project the Wi-Fi, and they're really looking to, tinker with it a little bit more.
Maybe it looks more macho for gamers and things too.
Yes, exactly.
You've got those antennas sticking up. What are the differences between the newer mesh systems? Because people now have other choices, Wi-Fi 6 or 6E.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So just to take a step back too, because I, again, talking to consumers frequently and listening to them, some of them actually still refer back to some very old or older terminology. They'll say 802.11 AC. And so just to kind of bring us all up to speed with what Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6 means is that we started with kind of this 802.11 AC, which some people may remember from typing in to set up their router that they had at home. Then we took that to just talking about AC or AX, and then to really hopefully simplify it for those that are shopping, right? We're all busy. There's a lot of technology out there, and sometimes we're limited on how much research we can do. The industry took a perspective of naming AC Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi 5, and then now we have the next generation Wi-Fi 6, which is known as AX. And then we also actually have Wi-Fi 6E. So the technology continues to evolve, and really what that's doing at the end of the day, from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6, it was one of our biggest innovations in the technology that we have. So typically with Wi-Fi 5, what you would think about is that you have one device waiting to talk to the router, and then each device kind of essentially stands in line. This is happening in milliseconds, right? But each device is standing in line waiting to talk to the router so that they can transmit the data that they need to. Wi-Fi 6, what that allows for is multiple devices to talk to the same band at the same time. So you're getting more and more efficiency, right? Not every device, actually most devices can't take, right, 100 megabits per second to their device. So if they only need 10, you just take that 10 and you leave the other 90 for the rest of your devices. So that was very, very helpful, and not just worried about speed or the size of the band, but really using the band as efficiently as possible. So that's the biggest difference between Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6, is you're really getting that efficiency out of the network, which the more and more devices we have, the more and more we're going to need to use those bands as efficiently as possible.
Are there limits and in terms of how many different things? Because you've got the doorbells, and every appliance you buy today wants to be connected. What should we be thinking about those things when we buy something to put on our network?
Yeah, so what's great about the networking category in particular is that we typically are the first to launch with the next generation of those Wi-Fi chipsets. So, and everything that you buy, the latest technology from the networking industry, it's typically, we are the first device out there so that we are compatible, and everything is backwards compatible as well. So if you buy a refrigerator that has a Wi-Fi 6 chipset, buy a cell phone that has a Wi-Fi 5 chipset, or a laptop that has a Wi-Fi 5 chipset, your network, at least when you're buying Linksys, will navigate that efficiency for you. We'll be able to leverage the different bands that we have, as well as the different chipsets from the technologies, the devices that you have around your network will help optimize that for you. But yes, I think if you are buying into the latest technology, try to go ahead and get the latest chipset. So that way you're just future-proofing your home as more and more devices come into your home. It just allows for those efficiencies. Of course, there's limits, but what's great about the technology and the things that we're opening is that the networking industry is further ahead. So the government is approving larger additional bands, additional frequencies from the radios, that is allowing for us to be more efficient about just how big those bands can be and how many devices we can get on there. So typically we're much further ahead than the average household right now. So as long as you're willing to make that investment in the right technology, you'll be ahead of the curve.
And I suppose there might be some confusion now and then between what the internet service provider is allowing, or what you've purchased in terms of bandwidth, and what your router is doing. Because if you want to stream 4K video in 2 or 3 rooms in the house and maybe outside on a projector, you better have some bandwidth, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you're going to want to make sure that the subscription that you have from your service provider is of course up to that. That's step one. And then you're going to want to make sure that each of your devices between the modem and then the actual router or mesh system that you have can also support that. So if you're streaming multiple 4K, you're going to want to look at multi-gig services or at least gigabit services, and of course devices that will then facilitate and transmit at that gigabit or multi-gigabit speed.
You've mentioned some things already, but there's lots of competition, obviously. What advantages do you feel Linksys has in this field, and why should people buy Linksys?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a company, we're 30 plus years old. That's what you started with there. There's a lot of knowledge, right? A lot of innovation that has been created over the years that we continually bring to the consumer and their experiences with us. We understand what they're looking for, what they're experiencing in their home, and we do all of the work that you would like us to do. So we have some power users who prefer to go in and tinker and make their own firmware, right, with the historical WRT series that we have. And then we have others that simply just want to plug it in and it to work, right? And they don't want to have to think about anything more than maybe the password and the Wi-Fi name. And so what we do is we offer a range of those products for you to be able to engage depending on what experience you're looking for. So when it comes to the mesh in particular, systems that we have a Wi-Fi 6E product, which is the latest technology out there, allowing you to get the largest bands possible. And then we have an excellent user experience. So the customer can go in, and when they set it up, we're doing everything in the background for them. They put their password and their name, they add their devices, and then we're the experts in this technology and how to make it work as efficiently as possible for you. So we take a lot of that work off of you as the user and we navigate it for you. And then in addition to that, one of the biggest pillars that we've always stood for, and I'm very appreciative of this, is it's coming more and more to the forefront of what we're thinking about every day, is really around your security and the privacy of what you're doing. If you think about what's happening in your home, everything is going through your router, right? And so you may have different devices that you opt into or different apps that you opt into, and there are varying levels of privacy concerns or not, maybe you don't have any concerns. But if you think about it, everything is going through that router and then back out to the internet. And so your router really, while it's not something that you see or maybe think about as much, it is absolutely a gateway into your security and your privacy of everything that you're doing in your home. And so we've always stood for the highest standards of those. And in fact, we because it's such a focus for us and something that's becoming more and more top of mind for the consumer, we did create a strategic partnership with a company called Fortinet. And Fortinet is a leader in the enterprise security space. A lot of what you're seeing, at corporations, on site. And so we really want to take that to the next phase and bringing that enterprise level security into the consumer's home so that they're able to protect, what's most important to them, and that they're able to monitor their privacy, their security as they navigate the internet, which we know there can be all types of experiences out there, both good and bad. And so we're really looking at, how do we continue to innovate and drive that forward for the consumer so that they have that peace of mind at home.
Terrific. Well, I know there's a wide range, but give us an idea about the pricing today and availability.
Yeah, absolutely. So my recommendation, again, we talked a little bit about everything that we're doing on our network and everything, the advancement of the technology. So if you're going to go out, and I do recommend, if you haven't upgraded your Wi-Fi in a while, I would absolutely recommend you do that. I would start with a Wi-Fi 6 product, which is the latest generation, one of the latest generations that we have out there. And we can start anywhere from $179, $149, all the way up to $1,000, which I know sounds a little bit crazy, but that goes all the way up to the Wi-Fi 6E. But really, you're getting the most premium experience. You're getting the best throughput technology that you can put in your home. And really, it's an investment, right? Many of us buy our Wi-Fi systems and then we use them for a few years until it's time to upgrade and there's more devices and there's more technology out there. So you can buy a single router for your home that's Wi-Fi 6 at $179. You can go all the way up to a Wi-Fi 6E mesh system, which has 3 nodes in it, or 3 satellites, depending on how you like to refer to them. And you can put those throughout your home, and that's going to give you guaranteed future proofing for your home, as well as some of the best privacy and security, and then also the best range at the end of the day. You're going to get the best throughput. So those are the options that we have, both all the way down to $179 up to $1,000, depending on what type of user you are and what you need in your home.
And a mesh system can be expanded if necessary?
Yeah, so that's one thing that Linksys has really prioritize when building our products. Is actually most products that you buy that are within our mesh system, so either the Hydra platform or the Atlas platform, those are actually all interoperable with it right now. So if you decide, hey, I'm just going to start with a Wi-Fi 6E router, which is around $349, and then you say, actually, you know what, I need a little bit more, you can just add a Wi-Fi 6E. You can add one node, you can add two nodes. So they're interoperable with each other because it's our platform and our specific, I would call special recipe for our mesh. And so they're all interoperable with each other. So yep, if you want to just start somewhere to invest and say, let's start here, if I need more, absolutely, it's expandable.
I think I know the answer, but for more info, where do we go?
Linksys.com.
LINKSYS.com. Aly Reyes, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.